So this is a fun session. I'm going to explain what happens, and inevitably, some of you are going to forget halfway through that I am actually a Christian. So be nice. And so what I do is I'm going to put this hat on. Okay, it happens to be a Main Street church hat. I'm not making any connections with this, but this is my atheist hat. So when this hat goes on, guys, I am going to become an atheist for you. And I'm going to tell you guys why I think you guys are deluded and you should not believe in your faith. And I'm looking for interaction. Okay, so I'm looking for you guys to comment and interact with me. And then after a time, we'll discuss kind of like what happened. Does that sound okay? No. Does that sound okay? Yes. All right, that's better. We haven't even eaten lunch yet. It's not time to fall asleep. So okay, so now you ready? I'm gonna put this hat on, and then we're going. Yeah? Yeah. All right. Well, hey guys, I'm always impressed when I'm invited to a place like this, and I really want to say thank you, Pastor Sean, because this isn't normal. Normally, you guys don't allow somebody like me to come to you and present. Listen, I want to make sure that you know up front, I'm just like you guys. I'm normal. I don't eat babies. I live a normal life, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. And but I have a fundamental difference with you guys, where I am not a Christian. Is that okay? Good, yeah, it is okay, because we want a diversity of beliefs, and like you guys do your thing, I'm going to do mine, and I just want to get along a little bit today. And I've been asked to share just a little bit about what I believe and why I believe it. And let me describe where I come from first. You know, I grew up in outside of Boston, Massachusetts, to a family that was really without any type of faith at all. My mom, my dad, they're not Christian, they're not atheist, just kind of, do you do you, boo, I'll do me type thing, which I really appreciated, because they left it up to me to figure the world out. And then I kind of my atheism developed in high school, where I started looking at the world around me, and I started thinking, you know what? There can't possibly be a God, for a number of reasons, which we're going to get into. But really, it's in college. I was a criminal justice major. I went to American University in Washington, D.C., and it was in college when we discussed issues of justice and things that really, really matter. As my atheism blossomed and bloomed. And I remember having discussions in the middle of class with Chris Sexton. He was one of my classmates, and he was a Christian, and he'd stand up and defend, all this crazy Christian stuff, and we'd be getting yelling matches across the room at each other, and he really helped me work through my atheism and kind of bolstered it and showed me actually why I should be an atheist and not a Christian, because of the way he was acting, and he was totally hypocritical. He'd come out with me drinking, but then he'd, go to church on Sunday mornings, and I was like, dude, come on, you're a hypocrite. Well, a lot of us probably in this room, right? Hypocritical. Yeah, so that means Christianity is false. But ultimately, what I did, I'm glad you agree. So ultimately, I ended up getting a job at one of the world's most prestigious law firms, Jenner & Block. It's a Chicago-based law firm, but we had a satellite office in Washington, D.C., where I worked mainly on appellate cases. We were in front of the Supreme Court often. We argued, I was part of the case that litigated and argued in front of the Supreme Court the original right to life case with Terry Schiavo. We represented Mr. Schiavo, and were able to find justice for him and his wife. And then we have multiple cases. I have a lot of cases that I could go through. And then in California, I went as an atheist. I was working in another law firm where we represent some of the best and the brightest. Do you guys know who Kim Kardashian is? We served her. So we represented her. We represented Justin Bieber. We represented a lot of things. And during my career in the legal world, a lot of things just became clear to me, specifically in relation to why my worldview is true. The first of them is it's all just relative, guys. And I have a number of ways to prove this to you, that there is no such thing as religious truth. Do you guys, who here grew up in a Christian home? See? You guys grew up in a Christian home. That's why you're Christian. Right? I didn't grow up in a Christian home. I'm not Christian. You know, this is what happens. We teach our kids what we want them to believe, and then they end up believing that. If you grew up in, I don't know, Tehran, what would you be? You'd be Muslim, right? So who am I to say that that person's wrong because they grew up in Tehran? Just like I'm not going to say that you guys are necessarily wrong. I think your beliefs are a little absurd. I mean, Adam and Eve, really? Anyways, we'll get to the science portion, and but it's all relative, and I know that. So religion is a lot like this. It's a lot like music. Okay, who here knows this song? Hopefully. That's not the song I was thinking. That's not Christian. That's not even real music. That's not even real music. That's like the Christian music, right? Well, who here likes? Do you guys know who Bruno Mars is? Who likes Bruno Mars? Oh, you can be honest. You can be honest. I love Bruno Mars. Let's see if we can get him to play. If not, it's totally cool. Bruno Mars. That's his silhouette. And he's a beautiful man. Baby girl, what's happening, right? I mean, this is a good song. Who doesn't like this? I mean, who wants to get up and dance right now? Right? Come on. Okay, well, maybe you guys aren't Bruno Mars people. How about this? This might resonate with my crowd here a little bit more. Who wants some of this? Freebird, baby! Right? No, Led Zeppelin. You guys like Led Zeppelin? Who likes Led Zeppelin? Absolutely. I got some youth in the back wanting Led Zeppelin. Absolutely. Well, some of you guys might prefer little Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift's okay. So sweet. She's Christian, by the way. So she shares your worldview. She's a beautiful singer. She's got a great, yes, see? She's wrestling through the world. You know, I can identify with her. Well, religion is it's the same thing, guys. Religion is the exact same thing as music or flavor of ice cream. It's all a matter of personal preference. Do you guys agree with this? No. So you guys, why are you trying to force your values on me? Why are you guys trying to force your values on me? What do you mean you don't agree with me? It's not all relative. Somebody prove it. Can anybody here prove it? It's all just a matter of personal preference. It's where you were raised. You know, there's been studies on this, guys. There's been studies on how your upbringing affects your worldview or how you view the world. And like 90% of the time, you adopt the faith of your parents or the prevailing culture around you. What's that? Genetic fallacy. What's that? Based on where I grew up. But it's true, right? It's not. Why is it not true? You have no choice? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is you get to choose. You choose. Right, but you chose that. So it's not true for everybody. It's true for you. Who here likes mint chip ice cream? Mint chip's the best. I'm sorry. Who here chooses to like mint chip ice cream? I choose mint chip ice cream. You're a Christian, right? What's your name? Glenn. Glenn, you're a Christian, right? Not for long, but but you just said you're choosing to do that. Yeah, so who are you to tell me that I'm wrong? It's like that. It's like we just choose our preferences. We choose what works for us. Christianity works for you. And guys, I got to tell you guys, it warms the cockles of my heart to know that you guys find purpose and meaning in your religion. It really does. I'm really happy for you. But I just can't stand it when Christians start forcing your morality on me. You take your truth and you try to make it everybody's truth. I should have a right to choose, just like I can choose what flavor ice cream. It's not like I'm saying, hey, you guys can just you guys all have to love mint chip ice cream. You guys can like whatever ice cream you want. You can like Bruno Mars. I like Bruno Mars. I think he's slick. Taylor Swift, you know, classic rock. You can't go wrong. Led Zeppelin, you know. But that's the way religion is. That sound good? Yeah.
Why do you say that you're forcing it on you?
Well, because you're pointing your finger at me very aggressively. Now you're trying to play hands on me, man. I know your Christian tricks. Yeah, okay, so why am I?
Because we don't agree with you, you say that we're forcing it on you?
Yeah, sure, because every single time that I have conversations with Christian people, they're always telling me that if I don't believe what they believe, I'm going to hell. That's what they say, and that's a form of oppression, and that's a form of forcing your views on me. Every time, dude, I'm from the States, right, the United States, and man, every election, the Christians come out in spades on this pro-life issue, and they're forcing women to carry babies to term. They want the government to coerce women to have babies. That's forcing their religion, their worldview on top of me. Or, well, not me, because I'm not a woman, so I shouldn't even really be saying anything about this. But they're forcing their values on top of my wife. That's why. So it plays out what we view about things. It plays out in the public sphere. If you guys would just, I'm telling you, if you would just like relegate yourselves to your house, maybe Sunday mornings is fine. Come here, but just check your faith at the door. Come together. It's really beautiful. I love it. Yay! Have conferences and worship and worship service and hear preaching, and that's fantastic. I'm not trying to take your religion from you, and that's not my point here either. I believe what you want. Whatever makes you happy. Just don't hurt anybody. And I think you guys are, yeah. What's your name?
Larry.
I can tell we're going to have fun. Larry.
But I think you're overreacting, because if I share something with you, if I share my opinion with you, and you call it being forced, I think you're overreacting.
Yeah.
How is that a problem if I just share what I believe with you? If you don't want to hear it, it's not a problem.
Yeah, it's so that's a good question. So he asked like how he thinks I'm overreacting. I don't think so, because basically you're sharing your opinion with me, and I don't have to believe it. Only if I want.
Yeah, you don't have to agree.
Am I going to hell? I only know one respect. When I die, am I going to hell? How is that not forcing your view on me?
Okay, just wait a minute. You're asking that question.
I am.
Now you're asking me to explain it to you.
Yeah, no, I am. Am I going to hell?
Wait a minute. I'll ask you a question, but if you're asking that question, now you're asking me to explain it to you.
Yes.
So, in other words, you're inviting me to explain it to you. So don't tell me, because I'm explaining something that you've asked for, that I'm ramming it down your throat.
Well, no, well, you haven't given me an answer yet. But am I going to hell? Somebody's going to answer me, yeah.
Could we say that it's not our judgment, and it's not up to us, that we don't necessarily have all the answers?
What's your name? Is it Molly? Holly, you can say whatever you want. It's your world, as long as you're happy. You can do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. He can tell me I'm going to hell. Yeah, I mean, I get it all the time, guys. I get it all. Yeah.
From your perspective,
My perspective.
can you define what hell is for you first? Like, what's the terms we're talking about?
Yeah, sure. Hell is this imaginary place that horrible Christians have dreamed up in order to make me fearful of a fairy tale God, so I'll pretend to believe in him so that we can get the right elected officials in office and get the right conservative, oppressive policies passed, and then you guys get your way.
Thanks for the definition, but okay, why do you care what my answer then, if you don't believe it's even a thing?
That's a really good point. That's a really good point. Why do I care what the answer is? Because it plays out in real time. If you guys just believed what you wanted to believe, then fine. If it was just left up to a discussion, like you were asking me a question and you're giving your opinion, then that's fine. But when you start pressing this stuff on other people, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. It's child abuse. It's child abuse when you take your children and you're teaching these falsities to them. It's not right. You should leave it up to kids, like what my parents did. They left it up to me. It's all relative, guys. It's just a matter of personal opinion. And then I think claiming that your way is more true than my way is actually intolerant. So you guys are all intolerant to a certain degree. No. What do you mean by God? The Bible. Who? The gospel, no, but this is what I'm saying. I always get this all the time. Guys, and you know what? I don't even need to go through my presentation for this. Your Bible. Let's talk about your Bible. All right, this mythical Bronze Age book. Okay, so hold on one second. Hold on, I got to talk about the Bible. All right, since it was brought up, right?
How you found out it was an imaginary place?
What was hell?
How did you find out that hell was just an imaginary place?
Oh,
Where
it's-
did you learn that from?
Well, number one, it's common sense. Two, every major intellectual institution in the United States, every one of them would reject the existence of hell. 3, science. Science has shown us that there is absolutely, positively no life after death. Nothing. So in order for there to be a hell or a heaven, you have to have life after death. But what do dead people say when you ask them what's going on? It's more than not much. It's nothing. Why? What do dead people say? Nothing. But let's talk about the Bible. I love talking about the Bible. So, because it's always brought up. Did you guys know, and this is true, did you guys know, Bart Ehrman, do you guys know who Bart Ehrman is? Bart Ehrman is a leading New Testament scholar at UNC Chapel Hill. Leading New Testament scholar. And he says that there are more mistakes in the Bible than there are words in the Bible. That's true. So what you guys are doing is you're basing your faith on a book that has been proven to be riddled with mistakes. More mistakes than the New York Times this morning. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Who's got a Bible on them? I can play this game. Nobody has a Bible? I mean, I thought you guys were Christian. What are you going to hit people with? I want you to flip to the last chapter of Mark. Flip to the last chapter of Mark. Yeah. So is Mark 16 supposed to be in your Bible? If you have a Bible worth its weight, you should have a footnote right there at Mark 16. Does not appear in the earliest manuscripts. It's a late edition, guys. Mark 16. It's a late edition. I got a question for you. Okay, just the end of the chapter. Okay, we'll strain at gnats. All right, so check this out. That's in your book, by the way. Right? I mean, so no, but check this out. Okay, how about this? How did Judas die? He hung himself? Are you sure? Because in Acts, it says that his entrails inside burst out. How many angels were at the tomb? This is huge. This is huge. How many angels were at the tomb when these women supposedly saw an empty tomb? How many angels were there? Depends what gospel you read, guys. Some of your people say 2, some say 1. Yeah. I have never, ever heard that, which means you're wrong. Like, I can't imagine, like, why would falling, like, I mean, there were no skyscrapers. I mean, he hung himself from a tree. It's not like, he's not like 25 stories up. And even so, wouldn't you, like, I hate to be gross, but wouldn't your head pop off before your entrails burst open and out? Come on, guys, this is what I'm saying. Let's think critically here. Okay, let's think critically. And this is all I'm trying to do. Like, I'm not trying to rob you of your faith. Please, students, if you're here, like, don't go home and be like, oh, this guy, at the church, they had him and he told me, like, you can believe what you want to believe. Believe what you want to believe. But please, just stop forcing it on people through legislation and trying to live this stuff out. And stop telling me I'm wrong because what I believe is different. Because I think there's good reason to believe what you believe is wrong. We talked about the Bible, yeah. Well, it actually depends. Sorry? It actually depends. Yeah, so my wife is a mathematician, and so when you dig deep into the depths of math, I mean, we would say it's 4, right? It's 4.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, I don't know if it's relative.
Well, no, because the facts in numbers and math are different than religion.
There's going to be, in this case, one answer.
Yeah, no, I'm not afraid of exclusive truth when it comes to science and math and stuff like that. I mean, 2 + 2 is 4. There's evidence for it.
So, yeah, I agree.
I'm just looking for evidence.
If two religions, for instance, say Buddhism and Christianity, are completely different.
Yes.
So how can both be true?
No, they're both false. That's what I'm saying.
So what is true?
What is truth is that which actually is. No, yeah, well, according to me, according to everybody. According to everybody.
So both can be true. It's relative.
No, they're both wrong.
Are you sure?
Yes.
So that's the truth.
No, yes, absolutely.
You have the truth.
Well, lots of people have the truth, just as every major scientist on the planet.
I think I have the truth.
I know you do. You're a Christian.
But you think you have the truth.
I know.
Well, one, if it's opposite of the other, cannot be true. They're either both false or one is correct.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Thank you for making my point. I'm so glad that I feel like I should come hug you. We finally agree. Yes, it's a matter of personal preference. It's a total matter of personal preference. Just do you, man. Just do you. It looks like you're happy. Are you a happy guy? Oh, man, I'm so glad. I'm serious. I really am, because I want you to flourish. One day you'll get enlightened. One day. There was a hand right back here.
Well, it's not actually my opinion. It's what Jesus said, and Jesus really lived. And
Debatable, but yeah, okay, I'll let you have it.
there's lots of evidence, not from the Bible, but also from different historians.
Who? Josephus, his texts have been shown to be mistranslated and errors have crept in.
There's probably about 11 different historians
Mm-hmm.
who have referenced Jesus, who've actually referenced that he has died and that on the cross and that there was a earthquake and the world got dark in the afternoon. So our calendar is based on Jesus, on Christ before that. So if he really existed and he really said what he said, it's not my opinion, I believe what he said.
Yeah, well, there's a lot you're sneaking in here. Like, I'm just saying. There's a lot you're sneaking in here because you're assuming, like, fine, okay, I'll give you that a historical man named Jesus lived. I'll even give you that what he said, what in your red letters in your Bible. By the way, Thomas Jefferson did a great job when he edited his own Bible. You guys love propping him up for your, politics stuff, but, well, I guess not. You were not in the United States. But he came up with his own Bible, taking out, like, these things. There's a lot of scholarship that goes into this. There was something called the Jesus Seminar, right? The Jesus Seminar, where scholars, this isn't me, guys. None of this stuff is made up by me. I'm just going on what scholarship says here. That these scholars, John Dominic Crossan is one of the leaders, and this guy, he claims to be Christian. He is a Christian. He's on your side. These people are on your side. It's Christian scholars. They went through and actually figured out by placing beads in these containers of what scriptures were actually authentic and real. And they came to like 5 of them actually were said by Jesus. Because there's a lot of interpretation there. It's not only that, but the Bible's been translated. I mean, how many? I bet you we have 6 translations different translations in this room right now. It's also so far long ago. I mean, error has crept in. But not only that, let me get to the main point here. You see on the screen, that's Odin. There's been a lot said about Odin. There are many, many people who believed Odin existed. And I love my poster because I think it proves my point. Jesus promised to end all the end of all wicked people. Odin promised to end of all ice giants. I don't see any ice giants. I see wicked people all the time. What's that? No. This is Nordic mythology. The same thing. The Bible is just Eastern mythology. It's the same thing. That's the genre, right? So listen, you guys. Yeah. You've had your hand up for a while. Thank you. I got a convert. It's fantastic. Yes. She agrees with everything I'm saying. Hey. Yes.
I
Yeah.
So you believe that there is no God.
Yeah.
You believe there is no God, or you don't believe that there is a God, or is that the same thing?
Yeah, so I'm not gonna nitpick the definition of atheist with you. My current position right now is that I don't think there's good evidence to believe that God exists.
This was
Oh yeah, no,
everything that you see.
everything.
All came into being by fluke, right?
I wouldn't use the word fluke. That's not in the scientific literature, certainly. Well, it depends what you mean by purpose here. No, there's no grand scheme. There's no design. There's no purpose. A really famous atheist, William Provine. He's now dead, but he wrote this very clearly. He said that according to the evolutionary perspective, there is at bottom no design, no purpose, no free will, no nothing. Well, sure, that's fine.
That's what you believe?
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Wait, time out. You believe some big bearded guy created it all? How is that any better than fluke?
Really? You're asking that?
I'm asking that question.
It's not better than fluke?
No, it's way better. I mean, it's not better at all. You don't have any evidence for it. We get down to a certain point. What happens is we get down to a certain point. We get down to the singularity, the Big Bang, which Christians run from, and we get down to the Big Bang, and you get there, and then what you do is it's called God of the gaps. You say, oh, well, God must have done it. Well, guess what? Lightning fired from the sky. God used to do it until modernity. Rain used to fall from the sky. God used to do it until modernity. And this is just one more thing. And now science, especially when you start looking at, quantum physics and the multiverse that's out there, I mean, it's not unlikely. These aren't rabbit holes. This is called science. This is why Christians get everything so wrong. You can't believe in science. Larry. Well, we see it all. Well, number one, it depends how you define nothing. But Lawrence Krauss right now, he wrote a book, Something from Nothing. This is one of the world's leading physicists. He is brilliant. Lawrence Krauss is amazing. He's so influential. And he shows, and we've seen it, we've witnessed it with our own eyes, we've witnessed how something comes from nothing, a quantum vacuum. We see it all the time. Particles popping out all the time. We see it all the time. Yeah, in the back here. I'm here because Sean paid me. I'm trying to get mine, brother. What's that? Why do I exist? No, of course there's a purpose, guys. Of course I exist to have children and populate the world. Because that's what's been bred into me through evolution. What do you mean why? No. Maybe we're not using purpose in the same way here, but that's why I'm here. I am here to propagate my genes in the next generation. But at the same time, let me be clear, guys. Let me be clear. Like, it doesn't matter if I succeed in that. There's no ultimate meaning or purpose. There's no overarching purpose in my life, and I'm okay with that. I don't need this. Like, what? I thought you were telling me to shoot myself. I was like, whoa, I haven't gone that. Woo! That would be a Christian response, though. There's something over here. Yeah. There is a consensus. Who? Name one. Stephen Meyer is not a scientist. He's a philosopher of science. Of course it's right. Is the earth round? Well, I mean, hey, even a broken clock's right. I'm not saying Christians can't stumble upon truth. I'm not saying Christians can't be right. We are right on a lot of things, guys. I'm sorry? No, I'm I'm being steamrolled. What's your name? What's your name? Kate. Hold on, come up for air, please. No, I mean, that could be. I have a feeling, are you married? Your husband agrees with you an awful lot. Oh, please stop, please. Please. I'm a Christian, I repent. Yeah. Just be me in the submission. Yeah, so I mean, part of what you're saying is true. I think part of what you're saying is true, but not all of it. I'm not saying that you guys can't be right. I'm not saying that we don't find agreeing, but this is part. Hold on, time out. I have the mic. Part of the problem here is this is what I'm saying is you guys are setting up this false dichotomy that exists between me and you. So you see what happens is so quickly you guys put this wall up that all of a sudden it's me versus, it's us versus them. I'm not saying it's us versus, I'm saying we can share in a collective existence. Just let me exist. Just let me exist. Stop forcing your morality. Stop forcing your false science. Stop forcing this stuff on me and my kids, and let me live. You know, and stop arguing with me. In the back.
Yeah, so one thing I was going to say to the Big Bang Theory is something that is brought up before that I agree with is like, because you say that you believe that that's how like, the world came into existence, right?
Yeah.
So how do you know?
But that's not just, I just think, I'm just going to pause you for a second. Like when we say that's how you say, that's not how I say, that's how every single scientist who's worth his weight in cosmology says the world came into existence. Okay. So it's not me, it's science. So science says.
So with that in mind, is it not possible that some other being, such as God or whatever, created the world by using the Big Bang Theory?
I mean, you could say that, but I'd want to see some evidence. Like, what, I mean, just because you guys spin a fanciful tale, you put the information out there, but there's no evidence to support. So give me some evidence. Well, but that's, that's absolutely, the universe is expanding as far as we can see. You know how we came about that? Figuring that out? Science. Not the Bible. Because for the longest time, the Bible thought that, but you guys, half the time, half of the churches I go to would say that is actually, the cosmic background radiation in the universe is actually an illusion created by God because the universe isn't that old. I have most of the time I talk to you guys and you guys are telling me the earth is 8,000 years old. I'm going to go here because I've got to let you get your thoughts. Hi. What about what? That's a pen. Pencil? No, of course it's designed.
Are you more complex than a pen?
Yeah?
You think you came by fluke or design?
Well, the design by evolution.
What is
Evolution
evolution?
is a fact of science that shows empirically that we all come from a common ancestor over a long, you guys laugh, why do Christians always laugh at me? It's just like, oh, you guys are so smart. This is what I'm talking about. You guys are demeaning me. I feel attacked. This is not a safe space.
Is evolution design? Did someone design it?
No. It's random mutation over time. Yeah, I ascribe to the Darwinian view, which has been proven, guys.
You're assuming life.
No, I'm not assuming anything. I don't have to assume anything. Don't tell me what I have to do. There's plenty of explanations out there, scientific explanation on how first life came to the planet. Transpermia, that's the number one. The number one in the scientific literature, guys, you guys obviously haven't done time in the scientific literature. Transpermia, a single living cell arrived here. You guys are going to laugh at me, I know, because you're Christians, but remember, you guys believe in Adam and Eve, okay? So, but the single living cell came to Earth on the back of an asteroid. No. It came from another universe or another planet. I'm okay with that because I believe in a multiverse. I can push it back forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. You guys believe in God. Where'd God come from? Oh, that's convenient. Okay, but the life has always existed. I mean, what's the difference? I'm just saying the same things you are, except for I'm basing mine on the facts. Yeah. I don't know what you mean believe. I don't know. I don't know. No. I believe what? Do I believe that there's life off of Earth? I don't know. I haven't seen any evidence to that. No, time out. I didn't say that. I said that's one of the main current explanations to how life got here. I don't know if I believe it or not because I don't see any real empirical evidence for that. Just like I don't see any real empirical evidence for the existence of a creator God.
How is there evidence for a Big Bang?
Well, because we see it. We see evidence, backgrounds, radiation, red shifting. We see this is so cool. Cosmology is like a pet thing of mine. The further back in space we get to look, the further back in time. So theoretically, at least, and we're getting close, theoretically, we're going to be able to see actually the Big Bang. Well, because we haven't seen it yet. What's that? No, you guys don't believe in the Big Bang? Oh, man. Okay. I honestly don't know where the conversation goes from there, because that's like everywhere in science. I mean, you can't believe. I mean, anyways, yeah.
John, you said you've been a lawyer.
A paralegal, but yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. But they're circumstantial.
So in the case of Jesus, his death, eyewitness accounts of that, would they be relevant?
Do people lie? Hold on. Do people lie on the stand? Okay. So do I think they're important? Yes. But do I think we weigh that? And just because somebody says something on the stand in a court of law doesn't make it so. We still have a case to build with empirical evidence, not just circumstantial.
Do people lie as if they put their life on the line and for a lie?
Absolutely.
Apostles do that? Would they?
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, do you guys know what the Twin Towers were? We had a bunch of terrorists fly planes in the buildings. They put... I am not... You are a Christian. Okay, now I know what I'm talking about. You guys and your 9/11 conspiracies. No, it's like, I mean, people put their life at risk for things that are false all the time. So every day in this world there's a suicide bombing. The Crusades, that's you. And this is another thing. How can you guys believe in a God that's so violent? So violent. If I were to live out your ethic, your Christian ethic, I should be stoning homosexuals. That's what I should be doing. I don't know who that is. Well, I'd love to go talk to Stephen.
People don't lie for something people don't die for something that they believe is a lie, that they know is a lie.
They do all the time. Every Muslim who dies in a suicide bombing. No, that's what I'm saying is they have their thing. You guys have yours.
They think they're telling the truth.
Yeah. So what? The apostles, who I don't understand, that the apostles didn't think they were telling the truth.
No, I'm saying, you're saying that they could be lying. They could be making that whole thing up. But people
Well, they could.
People don't die, give their life for something that they know is a lie.
I disagree with that. I think people would do that all the time. Okay, the Apostle Paul. I think that he totally could. I could see him giving his life for something he knew was false.
Why? Who would do that?
Oh my gosh. He lived 2,000 years ago, and he's one of the most famous persons who ever lived. He did it for fame or fortune or any other reason, for sex. Who knows what his private life looked like? You guys laugh at me, but we don't know. No, but I mean, I'm not making stuff anything more than making up that there's a dying and rising person is a myth. Yeah, you in the back. Well, yeah, you guys have a Bible. Yeah, we have the Bible, yeah. But this goes back to my Odin example. Well, we don't have the manuscripts, right? We have copies of 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 manuscripts. We don't have what's called the autographa. We don't have the originals. So what we're doing is, and this is what I'm saying, and it goes back to my original example in the ending of Mark. We literally have evidence, we have hard evidence that things were added late to your Bible. We literally have hardcore evidence that things were changed in the Bible. If we took 3 of your translations here and put them next to each other on any given page, we'd see differences. Well, sure. No, I see what you're trying to do there. You see that leap? There's a leap there that you can't make that leap. Oh, we have evidence that there was an original document there for God. No, we have evidence that somebody thought it was significant to write this tale about this person. We have actually, you know what? We don't have the originals of Shakespeare, but we know that he wrote. You know, Odin, we don't all believe in Odin, and we have evidence in literature from him. How much time do I have? Yeah. Which is a really hard task for a Christian, by the way. No, I mean, I don't know how much time I have. We still have a half hour? Okay, let's keep going then. I'll beat you up some more. So what have we established? One is it's all relative. Let bygones be bygones. Believe what you want, as long as you're happy. That's great. 2, your Bible's junk, right? 3, science is the way to go. Okay, now we're all in agreement. Yeah. That's good. Hold on, time out. She said, thank you for being here and taking the questions. Now comes the punch. Come on. You should talk to my wife. She has something else to say. Maybe. I think it's still embarrassing to believe in Jesus, by the way, but okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's called the criterion of embarrassment. So it's a literary technique that was very, very common in antiquity. I'm dead serious. Have you guys read Macbeth? Right? It was very common to introduce severe character flaws in the heroes of the stories. This is what authors sometimes do. So I understand what you're saying, and I appreciate your kindness. There's actually one nice person in this room. And, well, 2, because you just haven't talked to me, Pastor Sean. But you know, I hear what you're saying, but these are literary techniques, and it goes back to the fact that we have no hardcore, substantial, real evidence that what they wrote is true. We don't even know. We don't even know if these people really existed. So as far as I'm concerned, until you can provide me with that empirical evidence that these people even existed, we've got to treat these stories as just myths. That's what we do, because they have mythical qualities. They have mythical qualities, especially when you're talking about your Old Testament God, who's just, that doesn't even look at I mean, this is my main reason for not believing. I mean, look at all the evil in the world. Would a good God create Justin Bieber? I mean, seriously. He's been torturing us for like a decade. You know, and no, but like, you know, so you guys believe that, you guys believe that God is all good. I've met him on a number of occasions, by the way. We used to represent Justin. I remember that incident, you guys probably don't, but he threw eggs at his neighbor's house. Yeah, we litigated that out. It's pride of my career right there. Oh, Lord, help me. And I don't even believe in God. No, but, but you guys believe in this good God who's all-powerful, all-loving, and there's so much pain in the world. So it's your fault. So it's your fault. Okay. No, no, because you know what? My mom is one of the nicest people in the entire world. She's done everything right, and she's had an awful life, a hard life, And or how are you going to tell? How are you going to tell my 4-year-old cousin? He's now alive, thank God. But when he was 4, he got diagnosed with leukemia. That's his fault because of his sin. So you're telling me God punishes you because of your sin. That's what your sister here is saying. I get this a lot. We live this is what I'm saying, is either God is not all loving or he's not all powerful. If he's all loving, he would want his people to flourish, and he would provide a world with no sin. If he was all powerful, he could completely eradicate sin. He could. So and evil exists, pain exists. I've never heard somebody say it doesn't exist. So therefore, this is deductive arguing right here. Therefore, either God doesn't exist or he's an evil, malevolent bully, like Richard Dawkins says. Do you always speak out without raising your hand? I'm just playing with you. Is it okay? I'm okay, good. What was that? I'm sorry.
But I know that I make mistakes every day. I do things
Thank you.
in my life to hurt other people
Yeah.
because it's my own selfishness. That doesn't negate that somebody else is loving and kind.
Well, no, but it also, Bertrand Russell said this. So Bertrand Russell was a famous atheist. He was debating Frederick Copleston, a really famous debate, Christian versus atheist. And the question that stumped Copleston was, Bertrand Russell said, what does the Christian say at the bed when he's kneeling at the bed of a dying child? And I think there's more than just rhetorical punch there. I think, what do you guys say to the amount of suffering? Surely, if you had a good God who's all loving and all powerful, he would have created a better world. If he couldn't, I could create a better world in my imagination. And if my imagination can create a better world than exists, and then what does that say about your God? No. You don't know my imagination. My imagination world is really good. Do you see what I just, no, nobody found that funny? All right. I understand. Okay. No, he didn't. Is that your opinion? No, that's what a book that you think that he said. Where did God say that? I'm sorry?
You're the imagination. Your world.
I'm an imagination.
Your world that you're talking about is nothing but imagination.
Oh, what are you talking about?
This world is reality. God doesn't pick out some little kid and said you're going to have cancer.
That's what she said. That's what she said. She said the reason why there's so much pain is sin. Hold on, time out. Is that what she said? The reason why there's so much pain is because of sin. That's no, COVID's the virus. Yes. But that's the reason why. Sin is the reason why there's pain and suffering.
No, you said there's an evil God that picks out all these people and gives all this.
No, I'm saying there isn't that God.
Okay.
We must be confused. I'm an atheist, sir. No, I'm saying there isn't. I'm saying if there was a God, he would be evil.
If there was a God, maybe
I got to back up, you see.
that's the natural course. And as human beings, we have
Yeah.
given from God spiritual principles. If we follow them, we will handle it better. We will handle it. I have
What's your name?
my name's Tom.
Tom, hold on. Okay, hold on. Everything you're saying, I'm like, it resonates with me, and I'm really happy that you're saying that. It goes back to where I began. I'm happy that you have these belief principles in your life that help you deal with this stuff. It's just not my belief. Just because you believe it doesn't make it true, but you don't need to be right on this. I'm okay with you not being right here. Good. Good. So you're okay with me going to hell? Ooh, somebody just said yes. Ouch. Pastor, what kind of body are you leading here? Holy smokes. No, this is great. This is great. This is great. No, I am good at slipping away. I am going to have to, because we have to end this.
You've gone on about, how life was created, blah, 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 right? Okay, what about consciousness?
Well, Daniel Dennett, who's a leading philosopher in the world. He's a leading philosopher in the world. I think he's at Duke or Yale, one of the Ivies. Daniel Dennett says that consciousness is an illusion. But this isn't science. We're not talking about science. Okay. Show me scientifically that consciousness is real. It's a philosophical principle, people. Yeah. So anyways, hold on. I gotta take a break. Because I'll take one more and then we gotta get going. Who hasn't? Put your hand down if you already talked to me. Oh man. Okay. All of you at the same time yell at me. No, I'm just kidding. Oh. Are you a student? Okay, I'm gonna take it from you. I don't know how God would not be loving. Well, number one, he did intervene according to your worldview, right? Number two, I don't know how it would be unloving for him to stop evil. I think it's actually, if what you're saying is true, it proves my point that God is crueler than we could possibly imagine because he gave us free will knowing full well that we're going to use it to cause, there's some horrors in this life. Yet God gives us the free will to do it. A loving God wouldn't do that in my estimation. So that's why God doesn't exist. So hey guys, you know what? I have to end this presentation. So I got to say it's been, well, I'd love to say it's been fun. It's been good to be with you. I really appreciate you guys opening your minds up, and I'm glad that I at least got one or two of you to think critically, because that's what it's about. It's about thinking critically and working through our life, thinking critically about the world around us and understanding that we got to navigate the world with people who don't believe like us. So I'm just going to say, stop forcing your morals on me. Do your thing as long as you're happy, but always chase the evidence where it goes. Thank you, guys. So, okay. This is really the awkward part. You thought that was awkward. It's I take the hat off and now I'm back to me, okay? And there's times I actually do this presentation and people who I'm coming to don't know who I am. So when I put this on, sometimes people think I'm an actual atheist. And some of you got heated, right, just now? Even if you didn't voice it, some of you are sitting there like, I can't believe they let this guy on the stage. Pastor Sean's getting an email, And sometimes I do this without them knowing. And guys, I'll tell you what. There was one time I was at a church doing this, about the same size audience. And beforehand, they had a coffee shop like what you guys have, and I was getting a cup of tea, and this guy, he was so nice to me. This guy was nice. Oh, you're a speaker? I said, absolutely. You didn't ask me many questions about what I'm talking about or anything. And so he's getting me my tea, and he's like walking me, he's making sure I have everything I want. And then I get up there, and I got introduced as an atheist. This guy's smile went, boom. And he's sitting like right here. And then halfway through my presentation, no lie, he stands up, and he says, John, you're going to hell. And he walked out. And then I feel so bad for him. He sat outside in the foyer on a couch. And so he heard the rest of my presentation. And when I came out of character, he came in head low, oh, I am so ashamed, And this is kind of my principle, right? So this is a great exercise for a number of reasons. One, I want to ask you guys, how do you think you did? And there's two ways. How do you guys think you did as far as pushing back on my arguments? So we have like a 1 where it's like I converted like pretty much everybody. You guys have no idea what you believe anymore. And then there's the 10 over here on the stage where it's like, oh my gosh, we destroyed you and you are no longer an atheist. How do you guys think you did? You personally, in your own mind, how did you do? 2? I think you give yourself a little bit more credit, unless you're like, yeah, so you're an atheist now, no, but normally it's about a 5, right? There are some who did better than others, you know? And some of you guys, you've obviously read some apologetics, you obviously have read some philosophy and stuff like that. I mean, there's some of you guys who've really read your Bibles and you know some stuff, but normally it's about a 5, and I'd say you guys are probably a little bit above that, to be honest with you. Now, the question that I'm really, really trying to hammer home, the question that I want to us to think about at the onset of our time here with another session today and then the sermon tomorrow is another scale is 1 to 10. How do you guys think you treated me in your heart and your mind? 1, you guys despised me. You guys are like, I know this guy's a Christian, I still hate him. 2, 10, you know what? Like I entered that conversation with a level head, a cool attitude, a calm demeanor, and we had a good dialogue. How do you guys think in your own minds, where do you guys think you went? Just yell it out. 10? You were pretty cool. Yeah. The 8, you know, there's some of you guys who got pretty intense. I'm just telling you the truth. You know, normally it's about a 5 or 6. You know, I think that you guys are probably right in there, like a 6, 7 range. You know, and this is an important principle as we start now really starting to dig into some apologetic stuff, some tactics on how we can share our faith. It's important to understand that behind every question is a questioner. And this goes back to the reason why we built the foundation in the first session by talking not specifically about apologetics proper, but about what our motivation is, right? We're all made in the image of God, every one of us. So when we're talking to people, a few principles. 1 is if we're talking to non-believers, we have to remember that they're incredibly broken in their worldview. Paul says that they're dead in their trespasses and sins. I made the point earlier, and it's a Christian point actually, where what do dead people say? Well, nothing. Well, what do people who are dead spiritually say? Well, whatever they want, but nothing ultimately because they don't have the truth, because the truth is not in them. Right? So these are important principles for us to understand. And when we start talking to somebody who doesn't believe like we do, we can put this on and have this. We have a deeper understanding of the human nature. Jesus came to make us more human, not less. You know, we understand humans in the way that we think and the way that we work better because we avail ourselves to the spiritual component. The reality of the situation is that battle is spiritual. So when people are wrestling with this stuff, yeah, they're going to question these things. They're going to bring up questions that have physical ramifications. Problem of evil is a good one. I'll be talking about tomorrow. In my experience, oftentimes, the objection that people are raising actually isn't the problem. What the problem is, they're trying to navigate a world according to a false reality, and they're bumping into that reality. They're bumping into the fact that God exists around every corner, and they don't know what to do with it. And so we need to be good at looking at the people behind the objection, putting a heart on that and understanding that they're made in the image of God, and then begging on behalf of Christ to be reconciled to God. Does that make sense? Did you guys have fun? I thought it was fun. I don't know. I had a good time. Yeah. You know, yeah. You know, I mentioned this before, and I can't stress it enough, is the reason why I believe what I believe is because it's true, guys. And if we find ourselves digging into things that if we don't base our worldview, what we believe on that, we're going to be taken to and fro by every wind of doctrine, right? We need to base our worldview in truth, and that's why I'm here. That's why I do what I do, is because I've come to the realization that the truth of who Jesus is ultimately and what he said is true. He is who he claimed to be. And that has profound ramifications, not just on my life, but on everybody's life, digging into relativism, right? It's all well and good. Relativism's all fine, unless actually Jesus is who he says he is. And then the ramifications are great. And it's important to understand this. You know, one illustration, and then I'd love to take any questions that you guys have. And listen, I'm here for you this weekend. So like we have time constraints or whatever, but like man, I'll stay all night. I really will. I really, really will. I'll stay all night. I think I have a flight out at like noon on Monday. So until then, I don't know, I have to look. I would love to spend as much time as I can with you guys and just sharing whatever questions you might have. So at the law firm, I was a paralegal, and I had an ongoing running debate with one of the attorneys there. He was a partner at the law firm. My law firm was amazing. We represented great clientele, great cases. It was a lot of fun. They let me totally proselytize. I mean, I talked about Jesus to all of these people, and they very rarely yelled at me. And even when they did, like, it was just like, okay, cool. Like, one time we were in a boardroom, we were setting up a mediation. We used to work on, do you guys know those Fast and Furious movies? Well, we used to do some stuff for the studio that produced those, and we were sitting in a big-time boardroom in Hollywood with all the who's are going to be there for a mediation. And I'm talking to Jeremiah Reynolds about Jesus and about the resurrection. And I'm just sharing with him, and I'm like, no, but you don't understand. Here's the evidence. And I was laying out all the bedrock and all the historical evidence, the reliability of Scripture, and all this stuff that we can be trusted. And the lead partner, Dale Kinsella, the firm's Kinsella, Weitzman, Iserkamp, Aldisert. And so Dale Kinsella, he slams down his notebook on his like little podium thing, and he said, that's enough about, and he said effing, but that's enough about Jesus. That's enough about Jesus. I don't want to hear about Jesus anymore. And I was like, okay, boss, that's cool. I gotcha, and then, but anyway, so I was working with this guy, Greg Korn. They let me talk about Jesus at the point. And I was working with Greg Korn, and towards the end of my tenure at the firm, I was about to become a pastor. We had been debating the resurrection for about 7 years. Back and forth. I would give him the evidence that I knew. And I said, Greg, he's asking a lot of questions, I'd answer him. At the end of my time there, it was nighttime, and we're sitting across from each other in my office, and he's asking another question. I say, Greg, I'll answer your question, but I got one for you. At night, when you're home and you're alone and you're under your covers and your wife is asleep next to you and your kids are finally asleep and in bed, do you pray? Is what I asked him. And he said, yes. And so my response to him was, well, now it's time for you to figure out who or what it is that you're praying to, because it matters. You see, we all have this thing built into us, and we have reality on our side. We have to get that into our heads, guys. The world is a certain way. It's according to the way God made it. And we have to understand that when we're talking to people, we have facts and reality on our side. And we can lean into them, which some of you guys did. So with that, I'd love to take questions. And let me see if I have that kind of like is a little bit of what I went through. But anything that this caused you guys to stumble, or I want to clean up my mess, I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah, in the pink. Okay. But I was an atheist when I was saying that, so I could say, well, that's proof that there's evil because Christians exist. Anyways. Yeah. 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 Not at all. Not at all. It was good to meet you. Yeah. So next session, the tactics session. So here's the deal: I'm not trying to sell anything to you guys at all. That's not our project at STR. But Greg, my boss and mentor, Greg Kokel, has written the book Tactics, which a lot of the next session I pulled directly from that book. If you have not read that book, you should. It's available for sale here. I would imagine probably not for long, because I don't know how many. I mean, unless you have like 6,000 copies or whatever. Yeah. But get a copy of it and read it, and it really helps with that. And we're going to go through part of his Columbo tactic, because to be honest with you guys, and I lead off my presentation, so I'm kind of showing my hand here a little bit. The next presentation, that book changed my life as a Christian. Like it changed, not spiritually, but how to engage people in spiritual conversations, particularly my family, because I'm the same. I was the same as an atheist. I was incredibly antagonistic. I was the way I was up here on the stage. You see how much of a jerk I was? But I was likable. Like you guys, oh, he's a funny jerk, but I was still a jerk. Yeah, okay, in the white. Oh. Yeah. Sure. They're great Christian people. What are you talking about? And you obviously don't watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians. No, that's a good question. You know what? To be honest with you, you're probably not going to like my answer. That's between them and the Lord. So here's the principle. I'm responsible, okay? I have a responsibility. I'm 100% responsible to do my part. But God's 100% responsible to do his part. And we're going to go over this next session. Well, I should just do my next session now. No, but it's, when we get it through our minds that we are not responsible for sin, we can't resurrect anything. God does. And I trust God. I know who God is. I know him really well. I know he's all good. He's all loving. He doesn't make mistakes. So I trust in the sovereignty of God in those things to know that he's not going to make mistakes in those things. So I do my part when I get an opportunity at the law firm, for example. My wife thought it was the funniest thing in the world. I'd share the gospel with these people. I have so many stories where I was like, I'll get to you in 1 second, you can put your hand down. There's so many stories with people. That there was one woman who really, really, really wealthy, one of the wealthiest people in the world. Well, her husband, not even her husband, her boyfriend was. And this woman took care of this man as he was dying for years. I mean, like, gnarly stuff. Like, took care of every part of his need. And then he died, and she never married him, so the kids were contesting her portion of the will. And in the process of their time together, they had created sex tapes. And the kids were trying to bring these up in court to really just shame her. And this woman, this is just an example of being faithful, 100% responsible in my part. This is a perfect example where I'm at this law firm and I'm asked to review certain things as a paralegal. Can you watch these? And I say, no, I can't. Why? Well, it goes against my moral beliefs. It's offensive to my wife and it's offensive to my God. That's what I said. Okay, cool. They didn't care. They're like, whatever, okay, I'll watch them. But here's the follow. This happened with Paris Hilton too, because she came out with those sex tapes and they originally wanted me to watch them all, and I was like, absolutely not. But with this woman in particular, the time came to go over her depo prep. I was prepping her for deposition and for the trial. And she comes in my office. This woman's broken. She lost the love of her life. She'd been shamed by him. It wasn't a healthy relationship by any stretch of the imagination. She'd been shamed by him on many occasions, including the shame of having sex tapes floating around now out in what she considered the public, but her family and now a jury. She came in and she says, broken. She says to me, she's like, I'm so sorry that you had to watch those tapes. And what I got to say to her is I got to say exactly what I just said. Oh, no, don't worry, I didn't watch them. I don't plan on it. And she lifted up her head, she's in tears, and she's like, why? I said, because I literally said this. I said, because it goes against my vows with my wife, and my wife wouldn't appreciate it, but it also breaks the covenant I have with my God, and he wouldn't appreciate it. And my God's Jesus, do you know him? I literally said that. It just popped out. It just popped out. And then she looked at me, like kind of cross-eyed, and I was waiting how it goes. And then she just broke down. And I said to her, I want to let you know that there's no reason to carry shame in your life. You're made in the image of God, and he loves you. He loves you. You might be wayward, but he loves you. And he loves you so much that he gave his only forgotten son for you, and that is who Jesus is. And I let her, she didn't accept the Lord. I wish I could tell you that she accepted the Lord right then and there. That very rarely happens, But it's just being 100% faithful with what we have in the circumstances that we have. I don't even know if that was part of your question. I just like to talk. Is that cool? Yeah, yeah. I have nothing profound. I don't have anything profound really to say to you over the next couple days, if I'm honest. But what I do know is I know the story from beginning to end, and I know who has conquered, and we live now in victory. And I also know that even Christians disappoint, and that's why I don't place my hope in people. I place it in the Redeemer God and Son of Heaven. That's where my hope is. So when I see Christians being, guys, we elected Donald Trump. It's your fault. It's like you talk about shaking your head. I mean, you shake your head at this stuff, but at the same time, I just, this is why I choose to focus my attention not on that kind of stuff. That's why, to be honest with you, I shut off social media for the most part. I shut off the news for the most part, not to become insulated. That's not my goal, but it's I want to fill my life with ministry and opportunities where I think I can make a difference, and that is right now currently doing this type of stuff, raising my girls, affirming and loving my wife. I pastor a small, teeny, tiny little church that I started 2.5 years ago, so focusing on my people. But I understand, but we got to remember that we stand in victory now, and Christians will always disappoint us, just like non-believers will too. We are hypocritical. Have you guys noticed that? We are. But thank God, because I'm hypocritical too. When I say that, it's not like a we, like, oh, you guys really. No, it's me too. So when I look at the world and I see Christians acting stupid, I act stupid sometimes too. And we're all just in desperate need of the grace of God. And but it is a good opportunity for the Christians that you're sowing into. Is this your church? Well, it should be. No, I'm just kidding. No, but see, look at this. I'm doing you a favor. No, but like wherever you're at, it's a great opportunity to, if you're going to a church, this is why church is so important, guys. Because I said before, it's a training ground, but it's not just a training ground. It's also the community of God. Amazing stuff happens in church. Yeah. I mean, there's going to be those that do that. But eventually the community the community that they're yearning for, they just don't see the value in church. So that means for you, and now this is going to turn back on you, right? So now it's you got to figure out how to communicate that truth to these people in a way that's winsome and effective that they're going to hear, not where you're just preaching at them. But you can ask them. Ask them to go back to church with you. Hey, I got to tell you, I watched online for 3 months. It was fantastic. I really liked being able to drink my coffee with my feet up on the coffee table, but I got to tell you, it's not really church. That's what I'd say. This is what I say to people. I'd say, because you know what, this past weekend when Sean was preaching, the Spirit was there among the community of the people of God, like I just haven't experienced since I was doing the video. And then you got to see people face to face. So you make the case, and they're not going to always listen to you. But it sounds to me like God has people in your life that are living in a way that need to have some truth brought to them, and you might be well positioned to bring that truth. Okay, what else? Let's yeah. Is there anybody here in the audience that's like, holy smokes, I don't know what to believe anymore? No, I'm serious. I mean, we're all brothers and sisters in Christ. We can be honest, right? Okay. Are you sure? Why not? If you have the question, I guarantee you somebody else does, because they're all liars. Okay. Will you ask me in private, though? You promise? What's your name? Emma. Emma, I like your hat, Emma. Emma's rad, I can tell. Oh, really, Larry? Okay. Okay, what's up, Larry?
So, Jesus came to save those that are lost sinners. When you're witnessing to somebody, here's a question, just as a witnessing question. When you're witnessing to somebody, and getting back to your role playing there, and you confess that you're not a sinner, you're not lost, I don't need saving. Is it fair to say that the gospel is not free? I mean, I know that Jesus came to save, everybody. The gospel is for everybody. But when you tell somebody that you're witnessing, when they say to you that, you know what, it's not for me, is it fair to say it's not for you? Is that fair to say? No? Yes?
No, I mean, is it fair? It might be right. I mean, they might not be saved ever.
Not everybody's going to be saved.
I agree with that 100%. However, I have no idea who that is. I have no idea. And this is where that principle, like the frozen chosen from Reformed folks comes. It's like sometimes we get so complacent in our theology. While it might be true, depending on where you land on this spectrum, right? It might be true, but to me, that's kind of convicting of the Christian heart. Like, where's your heart? What we went through. You've got somebody here. I have no idea what their eternal destiny is. I don't know what it is. So I'm going to do everything I can. Number two, let me kind of get back to the question. Like, I very, 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 very rarely use the word sin or anything. What I've done, and you guys might think I'm anathema and I might not be able to speak next time, but I'm trying to drop all my Christianese. So usually I'll start, I have no problem going morals with somebody. I'll say, yeah, no, it sounds like you think the world isn't as it ought to be. Why do you think that is? You know, I ask a ton, which we're going to get to, but I ask a ton of questions and let them explain their worldview to me, as opposed to me kind of the old school evangelist, you know, while that's my, trust me guys, you guys have gotten probably a good feeling of who I am. I'm outgoing, I'm kind of verbose and like, let's do this, you know, but I have to restrain that. And as I mature in Christ, I've gotten a lot better at it, but I never, I mean, I do think like my family, man, I pray for them so hard. Like so hard. Every day, my brother and my sister especially. And are they going to come? I mean, I don't know if they're going to come to the Lord. But that doesn't ever mean I'm going to stop talking to them about their worldview and about my worldview and about the love that's offered to them. Because I want to see them in heaven more than anything. I want to see them in glory. You know, whether it's through me or somebody else, I don't care. I just want to see them. So I fight that, what you're saying. I fight that, where it's like, oh, maybe I should just like stop. No. Even in ridicule. My brother calls me deluded. That's his word for me. You're deluded. Okay, well, I like my delusion. But no, actually, I ask him, it goes to your consciousness question, which we won't get into, but like, I'll ask him, well, what according to your worldview, what exactly is a delusion? Because a delusion is when your conscience is appealed to falsely. On your worldview, what is consciousness? Where does that come from on a physicalist worldview? You don't have room for it. You know, anyways. Yeah. If you are hurting and I caused you issues with trusting the scriptures or anything, talk to me. Because there's good reason to believe what we believe. and the Bible is historically accurate and reliable, and it's not all relative. So is that okay, Sean?
Yeah. I'm just questioning my faith right now.
Yeah. You no longer have a pastor. Thank you guys so much.
Give him a hand. Thanks, John.